Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to do a walkthrough of Pool.pm. And Pool.pm is a visualization of all the activity that happens on Cardano in real time. I'll go into quite a bit of detail with this video, so I will leave timestamps down below so that you can skip through it if you want to. So let's start off with the homepage. And if you go to any other page and you do want to return to the homepage, you just have to click the Cardano logo, and as you can see here, it goes back to the home page. So first you have the total circulating supply of Cardano, which is currently around 32 billion. Then you have the number of delegations, which is around 750,000. And then the percentage of ADA staked, which is currently around 70%. Then you have the value of those 70%, which is around 23.1 billion ADA. And then the number of pools, which currently is 2,953. You can also change all the values on this page from ADA to BTC. You can change to USD and Euro if you want to, and then it goes back to ADA. So essentially here you have three columns. Transactions on the left. In the middle you have all the blocks, and then on the right you have all the staking activity. If you do want to hide any of the columns, all you have to do is click on this, and it'll hide all the staking. Click on this, it hides all the blocks. And then here, it would hide all the transactions as well. So let's take a look at the blocks first. So in Cardano, every 20 seconds, a block is minted. And you can see that right here. In 1 minute, we have around 3 blocks on average. And if you hover over the half a minute ago right here, it shows you the actual timestamp of this block, which is 2021, August 17th at 21:05. And it was minted by the pool with the ticker BNP and has a total output of 134,000 ADA. And then for fees, you have 5.5 ADA, and there's 14 transactions inside of this block. Now let's have a look at those transactions. So if we reveal the transactions again, just scroll down a bit. So you can see here 14 transactions, and you can see them all on the left side here. ADA has moved from this address to the 3 below here. And up here is the total output of this transaction, which is 14 ADA. And you can see that for all of these. So for example, here, 106,000 and 2,600. Okay, so that's it for addresses. Let's hide those. And let's look at our staking activity. There is a few main items. So the first one is, for example, right here. This means that a new staking address has been delegated to a pool. So this is a fresh staking address that has been delegated for the first time. And it delegated a balance of 71 ADA. And then here we have a different example where a staking address changed their delegation from one stake pool to another. So this staking address that holds around 51,000 ADA has changed their delegation from this pool over to this pool. So that's what this means. And those are the most that you'll see is stake moving from one to another pool, or a staking address delegating to a pool for the first time. I couldn't find the third example, but essentially there's another one where a staking address undelegates from a pool. So how that looks like is essentially it's the same as this, except it would have a line to it. So that means that the staking address undelegated from the current pool. So instead of moving their delegation from one to another, all they did is stop their delegation. And then here we have something that's a pool update. So we can see here this pool with the ticker FLY or FLY changed their pledge, it looks like, from 550,000 ADA to over 1 million ADA. And yeah, so any updates are indicated with the arrow. So if they change their epic cost, it would show the old value first and then an arrow to the new value. And same with the margin fee. And then if you click on the block right here, and all that happens is you go to the page of the pool that minted that, the block that you clicked on. And then last but not least, for the home page, you also have a slider here, which you can use to change the values that are displayed. So let's say I want to see only values that are above 1,000 ADA. So if you scroll now, you see you only have showing values that are higher than 1,000 ADA. Okay, so next up, we're going to look at the search functionality. So we click on the magnifying glass, and now we're on the search page. And so here we have 500 out of the 2,953 pools. So essentially every pool is assigned a random color of the ones that are shown here. And the 500 pools that are shown on this page change every around 16 minutes. We just saw a change while I was talking. And that way it's always a random subset of pools rather than showing the same ones every time. And right now it only shows the tickers of the pool. But if you do want to know the full pool name, you just hover your mouse over it and it shows here oxygen pool and so on. So you can see all the pool names if you want to. And then for the search itself, you can search for 3 things. So you can search for the pool, you can search for a stake address, and you can search for a payment address. So all 3 things, like it says here, pools and addresses. Okay, so if you want to search for the pool, you can search again for 3 items. You can search for the ticker, you can search for the pool ID in hex, and you can search for the pool ID in BEC32. So let's first search for the ticker of, let's say, rats, which is Charles Hoskinson's pool. So if you search rats, it'll show the pool right here. And then let's get the one of the pool IDs. And there you go, it shows the same pool. And same for the other ID. Get rid of that, and there you go. It shows the same pool for all 3 things. Now, next up, let's try and search for a stake address. So I'll show you here. This is the stake address I'll be pasting in there without the dash. And once you paste it in here, it'll automatically open the wallet page. And it is a stake address here with the balance of the stake address. And again, you can change this to BTC value, USD, or Euro. And the same works for a payment address. So if we, yeah, this is the one I'm going to paste here. And there you go, goes to the same address because the payment address is linked to the same stake address that I searched before. All right, so that's the search page. And now let's take a look at a pool page. Okay, so now we're on the pool page. So first thing you can see here is the pool ticker. And if you click on that, it will go to the pool's website, which in this case is just a line of text. And then underneath here, it shows the name of the pool. It shows the number of delegations to this pool. And then it shows the total stake of this pool, which again, you can change to show in different currencies. And then underneath here, you can see the saturation, which in this case is 11.5%. And currently the maximum saturation is 64 million. So that's the percentage of that. Then here you can see the margin fee, which in this case is 10%. Then here you can see the pledge, which is 1 million ADA. And then the fixed cost, which is 340 ADA. And now if you click on the total stake here, it will go to the delegator list. So essentially it shows the same stuff above here, except now you have the list of delegators to this pool sorted by from highest to lowest. So you can see all of the delegators right here. So the ones up top here with the green text show the owner accounts. So there can be multiple ones. And in this case, Charles has a custom icon here. So this usually doesn't show for other pools. It would just be the text itself. And then what it shows here is the stake of this staking address, then the beginning portion of the stake address. And if you click that, it goes to the actual staking address. So if you want to find the whole address will be in the URL. And then you can see since when the staking address has been active. Here it's epoch 256. And then also the percentage relative to the total stake of the pool. So this staking address makes up around 16% of the total stake of the pool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this page. So if we click here again, it goes back to the timeline view. And here we can see there's still 3 columns, but they're a little bit different. So on the left, instead of transactions, like we saw on the homepage, it shows updates, so pool updates. On the middle one, it still shows the blocks. And then on the right, it shows the staking activity. So let's hide the other 2 here. So now we see all the updates. So those include changes to the margin, changes to the epoch cost or the pledge, for example. Here in this case, it just it was initiated once, and that's it. No more updates after that. And then for the blocks, essentially it's the same thing, except this time we only see the blocks that were minted by the rats pool, right? So we see here rats 700,000 ADA in total output for this block, 3.6 ADA in fees, and 16 transactions. In this case, we don't see the transactions because we have the updates on the left here. And we can also see here the current epoch. So we're currently in epoch 284, and there's 1 day left. And in this epoch, this pool has minted 5 blocks so far. And essentially anything below this title right here is included in this epoch. So if we enable the stakes, you can see that all these changes in stake happened during the same epoch. So you can see here all the way, let's see, there you go, 283. So this is the epoch transition from the previous one to the next one. Just like the home page, it shows the staking activity, but in this case, it only shows staking activity that is related to this pool. In this case here, for example, the pool has lost 15,000 ADA in stake because this staking address has moved their stake from rats from this pool to ATAD2. And in this case, you can see that this person here has actually sent around 5,000 ADA away from their current staking address to wherever else, right? So it used to be around 5,300, but they have sent 5,200, so now there's only 100 ADA left in this staking address. So if we click on it, you can see here it's only 104 ADA left. And then the same goes for increasing stake. So here you can see that this staking address has actually received 559 ADA to now be at a total of 11,973. So if we click this, you can see here 11,973. So that's how that works. And here we can see another loss of stake of around 2,000 ADA from rats to WAV7. And then underneath that, we can see a stake increase of around 37,000 ADA of this staking address. So they newly staked their address and they staked it to rats. And let's actually take a look at this staking address right here. So what this shows is, first it shows the pool that this staking address is staked to. So in this case, it's rats. And then the beginning part of the stake address, if you want the full one, it's in the URL. And then it shows here the current stake of this address. And it's around 37,888 ADA. And it shows you here the rewards that were earned so far, which is 0 ADA. So it's because it's a newly delegated address, it shows 0. So let's go back actually to an older one. And then here you can see the rewards for this address has been around 33 ADA. So here you can see the ITN rewards, which is stands for incentivized testnet. And then here you have some voting rewards, 0 ADA for this one as well. And then the UTXOs for this staking address, which is 2. And then underneath here, we have a space for all the tokens, but in this case, this wallet doesn't have any tokens. So if we go to the plus symbol right here, and you press the piggy bank icon here, it goes to the token timeline. And in this case here, it shows tokens right here. It shows that we have 445,937 tokens currently, and 10,975 policies. And then again, we have 3 different columns here. One column is for tokens that were minted, so created. And then another column that shows tokens that were sent from one to another address. And then in the middle here, you can see essentially this time it's just a timeline. So half a minute ago, 1 minute ago, and so on. And then again here, if you click on minted, it only shows the tokens that were sent. And you can see here the token with the policy ID of starting in 74456 was sent from this address to this address. And that's the same applies for all of these. And then you can also hide the sent ones and just show the minted ones. And it shows here the policy ID and then the address it was minted to. So there's no origin address. It's just the one that was that received the token initially. And if you do want to filter all of these, you can type in a name, for example. You can type in daily, and it only shows the daily dose NFTs. You can also click on the policy ID, and then shows the same policies. And if you want to go on the tokens page itself, all you have to do is click on it. And there you go. We'll go into more detail later on with this. So here we have an address that has 31 tokens. So this gives me a good chance to show you what you can do with a stake address page that has actual tokens. So just like in the timeline view before, you can filter all of your tokens by the policy ID. So again, you can just click this and it filters by the policy ID right here. As another example, you can click this one here. It shows you all of these. And what you can also do is you can just type in, let's say, clay, and it shows you the two claybud tokens that this wallet holds. And now if you type in, for example, ape, you can see the two Cardano ape tokens, but you can also see this one here. And now if we click on this and search for ape, it actually has the word paper in it, which includes the word ape. So you can see that this search also searches through the token's metadata itself. So anything that is included in the metadata will also show in the results here. And then one more thing, if you type space in the search bar, it's taken as a AND operator. So how that works is, let's say you type in ape and then space, which is AND, and you type 08. So now it only shows the ape that has 08 in it. So Cardano ape and then the 08 in the number here. And essentially this is how you can further filter through the results. So if you look at all the tokens here, you can notice that the Cardano apes here are stacked. So there's two. And if you filter by the policy ID, you can see both of them. But you don't see them when it's on the unfiltered page. So what you can do is you can just put in a space. And now all of the ones that were previously stacked are now showing separately. So the Cardano apes and I think the clay buds right here were also stacked. So now they're separate. And then if you share the link, you can see here it has the /%20, which is the space character encoded. And yeah, so for example, if you go type ape in here, it updates in here as well. So you can share this with other people. And lastly, you can export all the tokens of this wallet in a CSV. We'll have a look at it. And here you go. Here's a CSV of all your assets. So their policy, the asset ID, asset name, and so on in a CSV. Now let's take a look at one of these assets pages. So if we click on one of these, this one here is the spacebud number 9198. So this is the name of the asset, and then here is the asset ID. Here you have the policy ID, the quantity, so there's just one, and then when it was minted. So it was minted 2021, March 25th. And then below here you have the image, and if you click on it, it goes, in this case, it goes to the Spacebuds website here. And then down below here is the metadata, so it shows the Spacebuds traits. So it has a star suit, a chest plate, belt, and so on, and then also a type. Now to share this asset or any other asset for that matter, all you have to do is the basic URL, pool.pm /, and then this here is the policy ID, and then just a period, and then the asset name without a space. So, and just to give you another example for that, and here we have the coffee coin token, and here you can see the policy ID. So we'll copy that, and then we will type pool.pm, the policy ID, and then period. And then we have to get the the token name, which is here asset name. Copy that and paste. And here we go. Now we have the pool.pm page for coffee coin. And then here we have the asset ID, which is the same that's shown right here. And then the policy, the quantity, which is, God, I don't even know what that is. 2 quadrillion, I don't know. And then the minted date. Now let's take a closer look at policies. So if we click on this, it opens up the policy page. So for policies, we essentially have 4 different options here. The first one, which is the case right here, which is the policy time lock has not yet expired. So this means that this policy will be locked, but it hasn't locked yet. And it shows here it will be locked August 22nd at 16:19:45 UTC. Then the second option is this policy is already locked. So we have an example right here. So here, this policy is locked, and it was locked since July 16th at 22:50 UTC. Then third, we have this policy will never be locked, which we have an example right here. So that's the unlocked, essentially. So this policy never locks, and it shows a lock with a line through it. And then lastly, we have unknown. So in this case, the policy has not been registered. So how this works is whoever pastes in the policy script itself, Pool.pm will make a hash of it. And if the hash matches the policy ID that's given right here, then it will know that it's the correct policy. And yeah, that's pretty much it for policies. So let's get back to the Spacebud page. And then quickly going back to the metadata, there's actually a testing page. So pool.pm/test/metadata. So press enter here. So I'm going to paste in this example metadata. So you can see here, it shows the standard of the metadata, which is 721. It allows you to create multiple tokens under the same policy ID, as well as create multiple policy IDs. So for example, let's create another token within this, comma, and let's make this 2, and then maybe Picasso instead. And then how this works is when you select asset, you have now two options. So you can select the second one, and over here it will now change to the other asset. So you can test and type a 2 in here. You can see the name updates up here. That's the value for the name key. And then artist Picasso, you can see down here, it shows artist Picasso. And essentially you can use this to make sure that your metadata is correct. And now let's add a second policy. So we just copy the first one, put a comma here, and then the second one, and make it something different. A bunch of sevens. So now if we go to the select policy dropdown, you can see now there's two policies that you can choose from, 1 and 2. So this is how you can test your metadata and make sure that the NFT will show up as you expect. So next up, we're going to look at the whale watching tab, which is the boat icon here underneath the tokens. And here you go. This is the whales page. And whales are essentially wallets that hold more than 1 million ADA. And here you can see there's 2,751 delegations of whale wallets, and they consist of 15.4 billion ADA. And again, you can change that to show in BTC, USD, and Euro. And then down here, you can see all the activity that the whales are engaging in. So you can see here in Epoch 284, you can see here this whale has changed their stake from this pool to another pool. This whale here started staking at this pool, and so on. So you can take a look what's going on. And now again, if we click on the stake amount right here, you can see all the whale accounts listed from highest to lowest on the bottom. So you can kind of scroll through all these accounts. And if we go all the way to the bottom here, you can see there's the lowest is this one right here, but there's around 1,700 more that are not shown. And then I should mention that most of these wallets are actually exchanges. So BNP is actually a Binance pool. So this is one wallet that is delegated to one of the Binance pools. And then here, if you click on it, you can see the wallet itself, and you can see the same as a regular staking address, except with the whale icon on top. So yeah, you see the stake, and you see the rewards earned, ITN rewards, the vote rewards, and then the UTXOs. Right, and next up, we'll have a look at the IOG and the Cardano Foundation stake. So essentially, this shows you the stake that IOG as well as the Cardano Foundation hold. So yeah, essentially for IOG, it's around 4 times a year. They delegate and help out smaller pools with 3 million, just around 3 million ADA to kind of help them jumpstart their pools so that it's not all concentrated in these large pool groups or exchanges. So this is their way to help out the smaller guys out there. Same with Cardano Foundation. The way they delegate to the pools is a little bit different. So there's a different strategy for each of these organizations. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at the notifications. So if you click on the bell icon on the bottom, it gives you a prompt here, show notifications. And so you click allow. And now these are enabled. So now if we go on, let's pick a larger pool, maybe Rocky. So now whenever you have this open in the background and there's any sort of delegation change, you'll get a notification on your desktop. So we'll have this open here, and I will wait a bit and see if we get a notification for this. And there you go. That was actually really quick. So yeah, what you just saw was the notification that the stake has increased. So let's go back. And you can see here, 547 ADA was added to this pool, or to the stake address. And yeah, we saw the notification for that. So now last but not least, we can actually change the K parameter for the entire website. So what the K parameter is a protocol parameter that indicates the optimal amount of pools. So right now it's at 500, and the higher the K parameter is, the lower the saturation level is for the pools. So right now it's around, I think 64 million, give or take, for a pool to be saturated. And when a pool goes over that saturation level, the delegators actually get less rewards. So currently it's 500, but we can change it to equals 1,000. So now it shows here K equals 1,000. Now if you go to a pool that is saturated, let's see, one of these. Yeah, so you can see here it's at 42 million, which at K 500 would be below saturation, right? Because it's the saturation point at K equals 500 is 64 million, but at K equals 1,000, 23% of the rewards will be lost. So it's around 31% oversaturated. So yeah, this is how you can look at all the pools with the K parameter set to 1,000. And yeah, that's it for the Pool.pm walkthrough. I hope you learned a thing or two. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it, and maybe leave a comment below of something that you learned in this video. That'd be interesting to see. And yeah, I'll try and make more videos like this. So I will see you in the next one.